Hi there, my name is Emily and this is my myofascial line assignment. I'm going to be demonstrating the lines using this Barbie doll. I've gone ahead and drawn the lines on the doll just so I can use it to show whereabouts the lines are and how they travel through our body. I'm also going to discuss different exercises that we can use to emphasize the lines. It's important to remember when we're training that we cannot isolate any of the myofascial lines, but we can emphasize them. So we're going to start with the myofascia back line, which is going to be used, it's drawn on in a blue marker. So this one will start at the flexor digitorum brevis, which is your foot, and it's going to move into the gastrocnemius, which is your calf muscle, up to your hamstring, into the sacrotubius ligament, which is in your hip, into the erector spinum, it's going to follow your spine, and up to the scalp fascia, which is just in your head. So as you can see, this blue line right here is coming up the back of her leg to the knee. It's going to come up to the hip, and it's going over to the spine, and it's following the spine all the way up to the back of the head. Now, some exercises you can use to emphasize this one would be our squat with overhead raise and the lunge with a knee height reach, as well an anterior overhead press. Now the superficial front line I've drawn on in a pink marker. We're going to start at the exterior digitoris longus and brevis, which again is our feet. It's moving up the tibialis anterior, which is the lateral tibia muscles, so it's just on the outside. And it'll go up to the patellar tendon, which is in your knee, through your quadriceps to your rectus abdominis, which are your lower abs, and the sternalis, which goes up to your sternum, and then it's going into your sternocleidomastoid, which is the muscles in the side of your neck and go up to your head. So as you can see, this pink line is coming up the outside of her leg, connecting at the knee. It's going to come up to the hip, over to the abdominals, and straight up through her chest along the sternum. It's going to split and it's going to come up the side of her neck. Now some exercises you can use to emphasize this line would be a glute bridge and a bridge with an overhead reach. Next, we're going to talk about the spiral lines. Now these lines are broken into anterior and posterior, and they really move throughout the body, so they're going to move to the front and the back. So it's really important to follow these ones. So this one is going to will start in the splenius captus, which is in the back of the neck, and it's going to come down your rhomboids and your shoulder, which are your shoulder blades, and through your serratus anterior, which is under your arm, and through your external obliques, which are down in your hip area, the rectus sheath, which are your abs, and your internal obliques, which are just up from your external obliques, which are just going to be right on the sides here. Your tensor fasciae lats, and through your IT band, which is on the side of your hip and your leg, and down through your tibialis anterior, again, which is on the side of your leg. And then through the posterior, it's going to come through your peroneus longus, which is between your tibialis and your calf muscle, through your bicep femoris in the short and long head, which is on the side of the leg, just up to the hip. And then we're going to go through the sacrotubius ligament, which is your inner crest of your hip, and around to your spinal erectors, which are on your spine. So I'm actually going to start by showing this one just down at the bottom right here, where it's going to come up and the muscle comes through to your spine. It's coming straight up. Part of it where I talked about is coming through the rhomboids, and it's splitting underneath the arm. It's crossing over, and it travels through the abdominal muscles on each side, and it's coming back down. So this one's really crisscrossing throughout our body. One really good exercise to emphasize this would be our lunge with chest height cross-body reach, and the overhead press with a rotational pivot. So it's a lot of exercises that are going to be making us cross planes. So we're going to reach this way, we're going to reach this way. The next one we'll talk about is our lateral line. Now the lateral line, it crisscrosses along this side of our body. So we're going to start at the bottom of the feet, and we're going to go through the peroneus longus and brevis, which is on the side of our leg, through the anterior ligament of the fibulous head in our knee, up the IT band to the gluteus maximus. Now this one is actually going to split up the leg, so part is going to the gluteus maximus, the other part is going to go up to the front on our anterior side of the body, and it's going to attach near the pelvic bone at our lateral abdominals. And then it's going to crisscross along the side of our body, along the side of our chest as we move to the top of our head. So it's going to follow our external and internal intercostal muscles and through our splenius capitis, which is near the clavicle and up to the head. So as you can see, it's a little faint of a line. It's coming up the side right here, and now it's going to split. Part of it's coming to the front, part of it's going to the gluteus maximus, and now it's going to alternate back and forth until it comes through right up to the neck. Now some exercises we can use to emphasize this one would be the lunge with an overhead reach and an overhead lateral press. The next one we'll talk about is our front functional line. So this one we're going to start at the lower pectoralis major, which is in line with your nipple line, just over on the side, on your side of your arm here. Your going to your lateral rectus abdominis and abdominal aponeurosis, which are your abdominal muscles. So as you can see, I've drawn this line down her chest, and I've emphasized that it's your abdominal muscles as a whole, just by that added space. And now it's going to just split off into our hip bones. And a good exercise to emphasize this one would be our split squat with a push press. And lastly, we'll talk about our back functional line. So the back functional line will start at the latissimus dorsi, which are our lats. So these muscles just kind of right along in this area. It's going to go through the thoracolumbar fascia, which is actually a deep membrane throughout most of your thorax. And it's going to travel into your gluteus maximus and to your vastus lateralis, which is the most powerful part of your quad muscles. And then it will go into your subpatellar tendon, which connects your knee to your tibia. So this is the really dark line that we're going to follow. It's going to come down through our spine to our gluteus maximus and down the backs of our legs to our knees. An exercise that we can use to emphasize this one would be a split stance low cable row, as well as a one-arm cable rotational row. So we really want to work this area specifically, maintaining, you want to keep everything else tight and secure for stability. Thank you very much for watching this video on our myofascial lines. Thank you and have a good day.